The Dark Crystal came out way back in 1982, and let me tell you, it's a one-of-a-kind fantasy adventure flick from Jim Henson and Frank Oz, the same guys who gave us The Muppets. But this time, it's way more epic and weird, in a good way. Every single character is a puppet. There are no human actors at all, and the whole world feels mysterious and totally immersive. It's a classic among fantasy fans, and for good reason. So, what's it about? We're on the bizarre planet Thra, and our hero is Jen, a little elfish guy called a Gelfling. His life's mission: heal this thing called the Dark Crystal. Apparently this crystal is kind of a big deal. It keeps the universe balanced. But 1,000 years ago, it got busted, and now these creepy vulture creatures called the Skeksis are in charge, getting their power from the crystal's brokenness and basically ruining everything. Jen finds out from his dying mentor, because of course he does, it's a fantasy movie, that he has to track down a missing shard of the crystal and put it back together. On his journey, Jen meets Kira, another Gelfling who survived all the Skeksis' shady business, and her adorable little fuzzball pet Fizzgig. There are crab monsters, plots to dodge, and a massive prophecy hanging over their heads. It's wild. Okay, but what makes it special? At its core, the Dark Crystal is all about fixing a broken world, facing your fears, and working together. There's this neat twist where the hiss-worthy Skeksis and these gentle wizard types called mystics are actually two halves of the same being. Talk about duality. Plus, the movie tackles big ideas like the environment, spiritual balance, and, of course, the classic struggle between good and evil. But with some real dark vibes, so it's not your usual kids' movie. Let's talk about how they made this thing. Henson and his team went all out. Every character you see is a puppet, brought to life by performers stuffed inside crazy costumes or working complicated controllers. Henson even said it was the most challenging project he ever did, but totally worth it. Visually, the movie is jaw-dropping, thanks to artist Brian Froud, whose designs inspired literally everything you see. Creatures, landscapes, you name it. And the soundtrack by Trevor Jones. Perfectly magical and kind of haunting. You'll be humming it for days. How did people react? When The Dark Crystal first hit theaters, reviews were kind of mixed. Critics loved the awesome visuals, but thought the story was a little hard to follow, or maybe too spooky for kids. It made some money, but nothing crazy. But over time, fans discovered it, and it became a cult phenomenon thanks to home video. If you love fantasy, puppets, or just something totally different, this movie's definitely got a following. And if you want more Dark Crystal, oh, there's more. The story got bigger in 2019 with a Netflix prequel series called The Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance. 10 episodes. It goes back in time to show how the Skeksis took over and how the Gelfling first started fighting back. Plus, the cast is stacked. Taron Egerton, Anya Taylor-Joy, Mark Hamill, Simon Pegg, and a bunch of others. Critics and fans loved how it stayed true to the style of the original, but built out the world even more. And hey, if you're into reading, there's a bunch of novels and comics, like The Power of the Dark Crystal, Beneath the Dark Crystal, and the Dark Crystal creation myths that dig even deeper into the lore. Pop culture has never been the same since. Guys like Guillermo del Toro and George Lucas have called The Dark Crystal an inspiration. It's famous for pushing the limits of what puppetry and practical effects can do. Tons of fantasy nerds, cosplayers, and artists keep this movie alive at conventions and in museum exhibits. You'll catch references everywhere if you know where to look. Some lines you'll remember: hold her to you, for she is part of you, as we all are part of each other. Mystic Elder. When single shines the triple sun, what was sundered and undone shall be whole, the two made one. The prophecy. Bottom line, The Dark Crystal isn't just some old puppet movie. It's visually amazing, emotionally deep, and paved the way for more grown-up storytelling in movies kids could still see. If you want something totally unique and full of creative passion, this is one classic you have to check out.